Hey guys, welcome back to another, I think, pretty good teaching that's going to happen here now. What am I titling it? When summoned by demons. Okay, firstly, try to know and understand the reason behind it. Okay, and if you're not sure, and sometimes you can find out for yourself, but if you're not sure, reach out to a practitioner like myself who can further guide you. Okay, so again, just to get it out the way, yes, I'm the spellcaster. I offer my invocation tarot readings as part of what I offer. My spells, one-on-one consultations, lessons, hearing you out of any situation you find yourself in, and correctly and decisively designing the correct spell for you and determine what entity we need to work with that case. Okay, and of course the lessons, one-on-one lessons. Aside from my chaos magic course out there, which is pretty awesome. Like I say, I email you the link. It comes with the free consultations, and it's like, you know. So when demons summon, and I hear this a lot, okay. So I'm gonna break down into two categories, just to keep it brief. Okay, if you find yourself in invocation, evoking an entity, right, and you have to be honest with yourself. You have to with these things, okay. If you are doing it repetitively incorrectly, if you are doing it in a dirty and toxic environment, like physically dirty, your mind frame is just not there. And you have to be honest about this. If you are too distracted, too anxious, too desperate, um, any very low vibration, you got to try and get rid of before you start invocation. And if you're doing invocation in that vibe, that state, right, I would be careful. Also, if you're doing things completely incorrectly and calling out names and you're doing things completely incorrectly, if you're intoxicated in any way as well, and again, this is not judgment, this is just how these things work, you will then feel or know you've been summoned by a demon or an entity, right? But if you tick off any of those boxes in practice, a lot of the times then it's either that entity or another entity, because they can all see and hear once you start to call out. Then you are being summoned, but I would almost guarantee for something you don't want. Either some form of possession, some form of torment, um, something like I said that you don't want. So be careful of that type of sense of summoning. First ask, what am I experiencing? What am I doing? To first check that out, okay? The second one is usually if you haven't even evoked an entity before, or the entity that's calling out to you, and you just have a curiosity, or you've heard about entity and entities aspects and what entity could do for you because you experience something in your life right now, and you hear, you see images, names, those are most of the time calling to you by an entity when they actually want to mutually work with you for your benefit and theirs. That is when I suggest you reach out to me again, someone like me. You start your initial invocation and you ask certain questions to yourself. What am I experiencing? What do I need right now? What do I desire right now? And you get to know this entity and his or her presence, and it most likely will start to make sense. You offering me this, which is just what I need. I can give you this. So that's basically it, guys. When entity summons, when first always see the reason and what you are doing. Be honest with yourself, otherwise you could find yourself in shit. Okay, be good or not.